Socialism and Marxism is our enemy. It's godless. It's a process in which they use, abuse, and discard.
You are running for Congress.
Yes.
I was thinking maybe there could be an opening. You could run for Senate out there. We've got one in Utah that might need to just rethink the whole thing, but that's...
Well, I'll tell you, Mike, I was fortunate to grow up in the Deep South back when we were taught patriotism, a love for God, country, family. And I'm so thankful to be in an environment where those feelings are still, those values are still very strong. So it's to me, it's like breathing my next breath of air, because it's nice to be in a place where we can fight for our values and know that we have support and process to get that done.
You've been outspoken about your views of loving this country. I want to focus more about America than I do just about even your congressional campaign, because I think the reason you're running is because you love this country. It's been good to you, and you feel that you have something to offer.
I'm going to give you a present from Booker T. Washington that he gave to my race that for over almost a century allowed us to really do some very, very good things. A lot of people don't realize in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, it was the black community that led our country in the growth of the middle class, led our country in men committed to marriage, and entrepreneurs, over 40%. We're doing men matriculated from college. It was basically 4 tenets that he left with us, that if we recommit to these tenets, we can start having conversations no matter what side of the aisle we're on.
Yeah.
And those tenets are head, heart, hands, and home. Education, God, industry, and family. It really is that simple when it comes down to what are we really trying to get accomplished. We want to make sure our kids are educated, that we can think outside the box, that we can come up with solutions that are necessary for not only ourselves, but for others. God has been the center of our lives. The minute we allow the left to take that away from us, what we have is evil. And that's what we're seeing now in our nation's capital. People have no shame. They can care less about being honest because they don't think there's any consequences. Industry, if you want to allow a man to understand, or a woman to understand what it is to have self-worth, allow them to go to work. Allow them to work out the process of meritocracy. And that's what we've been really good at in our country. And the last one is family. As our family goes, so is our country. And we need to make sure our womanhood, we understand how much we need to respect that. Right below God is womanhood. And the minute we get our young men thinking about that once again, we'll get our country back. And our young ladies need to know, as they keep their values, young men who really want to get the respect will reach up to get that. So we need to have our ladies know, keep your values high. That's going to drive our country. And if we do that, we'll be in good shape.
Beautifully said, Burgess. I want to call attention to the most recent book you've written. You've written several. This is called Why I Stand. It's From Freedom to the Killing Fields of Socialism. You make it very clear that if you were playing NFL football today, you wouldn't be taking a knee during the national anthem.
No.
Why do you have a different attitude about that than some of these young players do today?
What we have to understand, and this is why I'm so strong on this, we've been at a war for a long time. The Judeo-Christian values has made our country great. It allows every generation to get better and better, seeing each other from inside out versus outside in. That's what's under attack. I have, from my vantage point, the privilege of saying, I see what socialism can do to any race, any culture. That great community I just mentioned, the reason why we turned upside down, because of elitists, socialists. We cannot allow that to happen to our country. So in the process of us understanding what we're trying to fight, socialism and Marxism is our enemy. It's godless. It's a process in which they use, abuse, and discard. And Americans, thank goodness for President Trump. I tell you, I love the fact he hates bullies. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. And I understand that growing up down Deep South. The way I was taught to deal with bullies, very simply, is you run at them as fast as you can and hit them as hard as you can. And that works. It gets respect.
Took you to the Super Bowl, didn't it? Yeah.
Right.
You know, Burgess, what you just said is very important. You're talking about President Trump. He has helped lead in an economy that now has the lowest unemployment numbers in the history of America for not only African Americans, but for Hispanics, for women, and for young people. Is he getting credit for that in the black community?
He's getting credit because what Americans understand is when they start feeling better, they start feeling more hopeful, that's the American way. What I love was having with President Trump, He's finally pulling back the curtains of what we're up against. You saw, and I made this statement before, State of the Union, to me, I was playing a Super Bowl game, I watched a few. It was the greatest Super Bowl I've ever seen, 50-0 halftime, and those guys didn't have a chance of coming back. So what's happening is he's showing who loves America, those of us who applaud all the success, everything that's happening right now, and he kept with the victory after victory. Those who hate our country, hate Americans, love power more, are the ones that sat on their hands their entire time.
Burgess, you made a very provocative statement that I've heard of you. You said black elitists have done more damage to the black community than white supremacists.
That's right.
I couldn't say that.
Yeah.
You did say that. What do you mean?
And it's time for us to start speaking truth to power. And that's what's happening in the black community. We're waking up. You know, we've been on this plantation trusting the leftists, and you see where it's gotten us, Chicago, Baltimore. Every place there's hopelessness and misery, you find the Democratic stamp. We're finding people now waking up, particularly President Trump. You're seeing more and more black Americans wearing a MAGA hat. By the way, my message, if you run across any black American wearing a MAGA hat, shake their hands and say thank you. Because they're on the front line. And again, what's happening is we're getting to the point where we can care less about what people say. And that's part of what our president is doing. The leadership is allowing us to stand stronger and be prouder and be bolder. And as a people, we're getting away from this PC correct thing that we were going through for quite a while. So I'm very excited to have a leadership that we now have so many people following his lead. And we're going to make America not only great again, but keep it great as we keep this process going, for sure.
You are a national treasure, Burgess. I want to tell you, for all that you're doing. God bless Burgess Owens. Well, the book is available on Amazon, or you can get it at burgessowens.com. Also, follow Burgess and his campaign on Twitter at Burgess Owens, and his websites,